Hi there, this is Sarah Lister from Sheffield Digital, and today I'm talking to Rudolf. Could you please introduce yourself?
Good morning, Sarah. My name is Rudolf, and I'm a head of projects at the Curve. So I actually started my journey with the Curve very recently, 2 months ago, and so far it all looks good, and I'm very excited about the role itself and the Curve. We are small, at the same time very professional team of IT-focused people.
So what attracted you to this role at the Curve? Why did you apply for it?
To be honest, we always have the challenge to apply for a role with a smaller size company or a monster size company, for instance, like Microsoft. But in my opinion, the Curve, at least for myself, looks more attractive place as in terms of communication and our efficiency. As a smaller size company, we can do many things in I would say in a much more efficient way. In terms of transparency, in terms of communication, we're doing really well. And currently, we are at the beginning of the next stage of the company growth. And it's a very exciting moment. To be a part of that momentum is a very exciting thing.
And what's involved as part of your role? What are you currently doing on a sort of regular day?
So as a part, the main part of my role is project management, definitely. And I also do some, I would say, higher level technical support for our clients. In comparison to many other businesses, client support in our case is not a regular like customer support when you have hundreds of tickets, hundreds of questions about the same thing, and then you can use templates, just typing your answers and send them back. Normally, if we have questions or any issues escalated to us, they are related to ongoing projects completed by us. So it's very important to make sure that our clients are happy and getting answers in a very timely manner, and definitely not based on templates. So, so in my case, I was involved in a customer support for many years with IT companies. I was leading a customer support team for an Australian company, IT company called Infomedia. And currently, I would say I'm very lucky because I can use all my previous experience, combine it together, and use it for my daily duties with Curve.
And where would you say that you've learned the skills that fit into this role? Has it been through education? Has it been through work experience in other roles, or a mixture?
To be honest, I would say both. So I've started in 2010. I've signed my contract with Betfair, a betting exchange. And the good thing about Betfair is that the guys created one of, in my opinion, best models of properly organized customer support. They are still very IT-focused people, and they wanted for all the processes to be perfect. And for the customer support, they've combined best tools, best processes, procedures all together in a very, very nice combination of processes, technologies, and tools. So, and I was very lucky to be at the very beginning of that process. I've learned many very, very useful and very interesting things, and so still can use. It's like with a bicycle. Once you learned how to drive the bicycles, and that skill stays with you forever.
Yeah, so you can adapt it into other
roles. Exactly. And another very useful part of my experience is related to Infomedia. Infomedia is an Australian IT company. They have multiple offices around the globe. The developers mainly based in Australia. In the UK, we had a department responsible for EMEA operations, and I was leading a customer support team. We had more than 12 languages covered from the same location, and that was quite exciting journey. And again, for me, it was a really good piece of valuable experience. And when I started, the guys were using mainly Outlook as the client support tool. It was a bit old-fashioned way, and then we decided to migrate the entire client department to Zendesk, which was a completely different in terms of like complexity and the level of professional approach level. Yeah.
And at the Curve, what sort of projects are the company working on?
So the Curve is a company of highly skilled professionals, and literally we can do whatever you want. So mainly web-based projects, web-based applications, and we can also do like mobile applications as well. And the best thing about the Curve is if you Google, you will find plenty of similar businesses offering very similar services. I'm not praising the Curve just because I work there, but I can compare my experience with the Curve to what I've seen before. And when I was working for other businesses, sometimes we were looking for services offered by something similar that the Curve is offering to their clients. And so I had previously plenty of experience with similar companies, and to be honest, I can easily put the Curve on the very, very top in terms how we run the process in general, starting from the very, very starting point when we onboard, when we just do a regular discovery session for our potential client. So starting from the very beginning, the process is very well organized, and organized not in a formal, boring way, when you just have more paper, you know, in comparison to some other businesses. We are trying to keep the process very well structured and analyzed at every point. That is very important. And sometimes, especially at the beginning, it looks like we spend maybe more than required resources in comparison to other similar businesses. But then the approach we use at the Curve pays back in terms of efficiency and in terms of information we can get from the business, and etc. and etc. So literally, if you run any business and at some point you realize that you want a brand new website, you can Google for a web development company. You'll find plenty of search results coming back from Google. You can even give a call or send an email to any of them, and you will be surprised that some of those companies can give you an estimate without even asking you any questions. And for someone who never ever had any experience with web development or never been involved as a client in these things, so it looks like a normal thing. It's something similar when you want to install a new plastic window in your house. You just send a quote with some measurements, and then the company replies back, all right, double glazed will cost you so much, triple glazed will cost you so much. But with web development, it doesn't work in the same way like with plastic windows. So if the potential company who is planning to develop your website is not asking you detailed questions, is not trying to do that sort of extra mile, get in touch with you, analyze your business, and etc., then the best option would be just look for another one. Look for the Curve, for instance. Yeah, as during our discovery sessions, we're literally trying to step into shoes of our client. And we're not only waiting for them, it's a bit tricky part, but if someone who is developing a digital solution for the business is waiting for you to supply them with a very detailed task. This is already a wrong approach. So every business, any professional should do their part. So we should not ask really plumber for an advice about how to install new electrical things in our house. So, and we should not use really electrician as a point of contact for our plumbing. So that's the main thing. And sometimes some companies they rely on the client, just asking them, all right, what you want to do, send us your plan, your questions, and we will develop something for you. It works to some extent, especially if we are talking about some simple things. But if we really want to develop an efficient solution that can also be at some point even awarded, because the Curve has an award for digital innovations. And it's not just an award that was given because we're nice and nicely looking startup, not because of the approach and because of all of the solutions involved. So what we are doing normally with any of our clients, regardless of the business, we stepping into the issues and we analyze the business. And even at the beginning, we normally spend above average time required for that analysis, but then it pays back to all parties involved, to developers, because then they can get more information about what we're going to develop, and also to our clients, because to many of them, at the beginning, even when they had a more or less clear idea on what they want to do, what they want to develop, it could be quite a surprise once the business is analyzed properly. Then they can see not a completely different picture, but always a slightly different picture to what they initially expected. More helpful, more efficient cost-wise, and more efficient technology-wise. Because technologies now in 2021, we have hundreds of different things. It's like a massive, almost infinite Lego puzzle. And you can combine it in very different ways. You can achieve more or less the same result using very different, very unique combination of tools and technologies. And again, it's a bit tricky. When you pay for something new, developed in a bespoke way for your business, then it's very important to know what happens next, what happens after 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years. And it's another important part of our business, and good for us that most of our developers are part of our team. So we're not outsourcing development. And I'm not saying that outsourced development is something bad, but in our case, because we're developing unique solutions, it's very important that we have the same group of people based in our office. At any point of time, we can discuss our previously agreed ideas and etc. and etc. We can change them, we can improve them. With outsourced people, the process is not so efficient. And again, about technologies, once we know how to develop, how to create something, we will also let you know about the future of your solution. So you are not only buying something that you can use now, but it helps your business as well to do proper planning, because we can explain what happens with the solutions that we develop in 3 years, 5 years time, and even later.
And which areas of technology and business are you particularly interested in?
To be honest, I'm not very picky, so I like all of the things that we are doing, and I'm not a developer, but at the same time, and during my time in Riga Technical University, I was doing some programming as well, so I know how the programming logic looks like, so I can sit next to developer. I won't be able to write the code just from scratch, but if I sit next to developer and we go through the code together. So then probably at some point, that's what I was doing with Aurora Lighting when we had a application for smart lighting. I was that bridge between our clients and our developers. And sometimes when we were installing a new selection of smart lighting for business clients, so and had any issues with it, so I was responsible for the QA process, and my mission was to get maybe not very technical feedback from our clients, analyze it, and make sure that our developers understand what they need to do. So, and in terms of technologies, I like all of them. I had my hands on computers since I was like 6, I think. Yeah, and due to my age, so I'm a member of that generation who was lucky to see evolution of all modern technologies, starting from Windows. I was using Windows 3.1 with the very first version of Word and Excel. I remember that very important moment of Microsoft history when they developed Windows 95, and it was very exciting. I remember the very first model of iPhone and iPod and first Android devices, very sluggish, very slow. But yeah, so all those bits were very exciting to me. So technologies were always part of my life. In the last decade, maybe starting from actually in 90s, it was completely fine to have someone who knows all the bits about web applications, like perfect all-rounder. Now the situation is changing, and we have more and more technologies focused on very narrow areas, and we also now have in 2021 more specialists focused on some specific areas of the same, let's say, like web development as an industry. And in terms of qualifications and etc., I believe now it's more important to be maybe focused, in my opinion, on some specific area, because all things are changing very fast, and it's almost impossible physically to cover all of them. Like, it's impossible to know all programming languages, and it's impossible to know all possible cloud-based technologies. But for instance, with Amazon Web Services, the abbreviation quite new. So AWS became very popular as abbreviation. Almost everyone knows about it who is involved in digital services. AWS now is like a proper trademark. And 20 years ago, no one never heard about it. So, and if you just focus only on AWS, you can spend your entire life learning about Amazon Web Services, getting the badges and special stars on your shoulders. It's just an example. So the same thing with many other technologies. In the core, we're focused on main frameworks, main programming languages that are currently considered as mainstream, but we're happy to change as well. So we're using Ruby on Rails, Laravel, and C# and many other PHP as well as a mandatory part of web applications. Yeah.
Why do you think that the company is growing at the moment?
I don't want to say that our success story is typical, but at the same time, it's quite typical for many businesses, very different businesses. If you work hard on a daily basis, then you will definitely improve in very different meanings of that word. And in our case, we're getting more business, we're getting more clients, To some extent, it's word of mouth, but at the same time, we have business development team. We already have many successfully completed projects, and every successfully completed project can lead us to a new business.
Are there a lot of clients that are from Sheffield or in Sheffield that come to the Curve?
With digital things, we definitely, and due to the fact that both of our founders, Paul and James, they finished the University of Sheffield, and they started the business in Sheffield initially, historically. But with digital things, we are borderless. So we were always happy to have business from Sheffield, but we are also happy to have business from any other location in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How are you adapting to life in Sheffield?
I absolutely love Sheffield, so, but the thing is, like for any office-based person, my adaptation is quite simple. Currently, it looks like a journey between one location to another location in the morning, and then back. And I still have on my bucket list plenty of things, especially for Christmas, like to attend regular events and etc. And yeah, so it's not explored well yet, but yeah, I will do my bit a bit later once I settled well with the Curve.
Finally, have you enjoyed your career path so far? And is there anything that you would advise people to do differently if they are considering a similar role as you?
My only advice, and I would give myself some time ago exactly the same advice. Choose something that you want to do and just do it. Do not keep things on your plan for later. Because at least in my case, and especially with digital things, it was a bit difficult for me to identify the direction I want to go. And since I was not able to identify a clear direction, I was keeping that decision on my agenda for a very long period of time. And then I realized at some point that if I would be just decided in any of the directions theoretically available, then I would be then it would be possible to spend more time on that specific area, learn maybe something a bit quicker, and etc. So literally, if you are still like thinking what to do next, just start doing something, and then life can take you naturally and help you to identify the things you really need. In other words, it's extremely easy to put things in our life on snooze. Just do not snooze things, and that's it. Just do them. And even some of the things that we're planning to do look a bit challenging and maybe boring and maybe cost-wise. Also, we need to find resources to get on an expensive course and etc. and etc. Just stop snoozing, because snoozing is the easiest thing in any project. Just avoid snoozing, and then it will be a very helpful decision. Whatever you have on your plan, on your agenda, whatever you want to do in your life, just stop snoozing. First of all, just do the thing you were thinking about and wanted to do this year. Let's say next week. Do not keep it until, because now we are in December. It's extremely easy to snooze all of our plans until January, and then in January until spring, and then during spring until the end of summer, because summer is a nice time for holiday. Just stop snoozing, start doing, and the life takes you.
And do you feel like now that you're pursuing a role and a career that is much more kind of on your path that you want to be on?
I want to be honest with you, and sometimes when I was analyzing my life, I just at some point realized that something that happened would never ever happen because of previous things. So at least I would possibly say that at some point it would be nice to do things differently, but I can make this assumption only because of all my current experience. It would not possible to make the same assumption like 10 or 5 years ago. And I was lucky enough to not spend too much time looking for what to do next, and life was taking me. I was just naturally lucky that life was helping me to identify the right direction. And currently with the curve, with all my previous experience, I would say that now is very right time for me to work for the curve, because if it would happen like 5 years ago, I would not have my experience with overall lighting group. And it was extremely interesting, extremely helpful part of my IT focused career path. And without Infomedia, again, so Infomedia, 3 years with Infomedia, helped me to understand how to run on the global level, worldwide level, customer services, Betfair as well, another piece of experience. And now, guys from the curve can utilize all my previously accumulated knowledge and experience in a very nice and efficient way. So now is very good and right time for me to be a part of the curve. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you for a really interesting interview and sharing your story. And yeah, let us know how it goes as you get more into the role.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. And remember, just stop snoozing and life turns for better.